8.4.1 Pen Testing and Exploits Part 1. When people think of a pen tester, it is possible that they think of the show Mr. Robot and imagine a hooded hacker cracking his knuckles and typing furiously to expose the guts of a company's network. The video you just watched gave you a more detailed look at what the job is really about. An interesting quote from the video was, "Essentially, I look to break things." This is a good description of what a pen tester does. Penetration testing is to test the effectiveness of security controls or find vulnerabilities in a web application or other software. This can also be known as ethical hacking or security auditing. The reality of pen testing is that it can be tedious work that requires you to take detailed notes about the process of the pen test. You have to document how you found the vulnerabilities, what worked and didn't work, and provide a log in case anything went wrong. At the end, the pen tester has to present company officials with a post-test summary and convince them to make the needed security changes. There are many reasons why a company will decide to do pen testing. A pen test will check to see if there are holes in security configurations. They will check for compliance, especially in industries like healthcare and finance, where they require regular pen testing to keep records secure. However, they need to validate the expense of security controls. Many companies ask, "Do I really need this?" Maybe the most frustrating part of being a pen tester is that many companies don't follow through on the recommended security changes, primarily due to expense. They will rationalize that the security holes are not that serious and that compliance just requires a pen test but doesn't mandate mitigation. These organizations prioritize spending money on making their business run and may not want to take money away from other budgets to spend on security. There is a long tradition in cybersecurity of using colors to represent the different type of activities, actors, and organizational teams. Most cybersecurity departments have a red team, which does the work of finding vulnerabilities. They are offense security with the idea that we break things. They are responsible for penetration tests, vulnerability assessments, and social engineering. A blue team does the work of protecting assets. They are the defensive security with the idea that we protect things. They are responsible for monitoring, incident response, and setting up controls. More colors have also evolved, like purple teams, where red and blue work collaboratively. Another quote from the video is, "So me, working as a good hacker, can try to hack these applications legally and find the vulnerabilities that the bad guys would find. And if I can find it and notify those to our client, then they can mitigate it before the bad guys attack." The goal of penetration testing and vulnerability assessment is to identify where defenses need strengthening. When we use the vulnerability assessment method, we are checking for known vulnerabilities and identify the highest threat risks. When we use the penetration testing method, we are identifying weaknesses by trying to break through the defenses. When it comes to the different cybersecurity teams, the red team does both methods, but the pen tester is a specialist on that team. There is a clear line, ethically and legally, between pen testing and attacking, even though they both have the goal of finding vulnerabilities in systems or software that can be exploited to bypass security controls. The key is to have permission and to be specifically hired by an organization to find vulnerabilities in their systems. To do their job, a pen tester must think and act like a hacker. So what is the difference between pen testing, which is good, and attacking, which is bad? A pen tester should always be set up with an agreed upon scope of the test. For example, a scope might say that testing from outside of the network is okay, but if you get in, then stop. Or they might say, test this website that we have, but not the customer portal. Or they might want a physical pen test where the locks, alarms, and security guards are evaluated. But it is up to the organization or client to define the parameters. If a pen test goes out of scope, there can be serious legal consequences. In the case of this headline, the pen testers ended up in jail for criminal intent. There are many more stories where pen testers who thought they were in scope ended up facing scary situations.